Chiefs Kingdom, that stung. On Thanksgiving Day, we came into Arlington thinking we could keep that momentum rolling, but instead, we fell 31-28. And with the season teetering, the loss leaves a whole lot of questions. I mean, let's be real. There were a lot of questions prior to this loss, but there are even more questions now. Today, we're going to break down why it slipped away, what still works, who got dinged up, and what needs to happen if we're going to salvage this season in any sort of manner. So let's get into it. That final score again, Cowboys 31, Chiefs 28. Not what I thought was going to happen. Cowboys' Dak Prescott dropped 320 yards and two touchdowns, and he didn't get sacked whatsoever. Dallas got a 43-yard touchdown run from running back Malik Davis that gave them a lead, and the Chiefs mounted a late push with a score from Patrick Mahomes to Hollywood Brown to cut the lead to three. But Dallas ran out the clock and we couldn't do a thing about it. Now, we did some things well in this loss. Mahomes still showed that never die spirit, but he is one person, and I know he is a really, really incredible person, but he is one person. Even late in the game, the offense came alive and put points on the board, and there was a big time drive near the end that kept us alive. Despite all the chaos, the Chiefs' offense had bursts of explosiveness, deep balls, aggressive play calling, kind of, sort of, and trust in our weapons. We didn't run the ball enough, but there was some burst of explosiveness throughout our offense still. Now, on some drives, the offensive line held up under pressure and gave Mahomes time to throw. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Now, what went wrong? What's broken? A whole lot. Y'all, the penalties and the self-inflicted mistakes. We have talked about this before on multiple losses this year. We got flagged in this game 10 times for 119 yards. I think that was a record amount of penalty yards for the Chiefs. Those penalties killed drives, stalled momentum, and kept the Cowboys alive. Drop or miscommunications at crucial moments also kept us from turning momentum. We just didn't finish drives in this game. The offensive consistency throughout this game went cold. After an explosive start, the offense went silent. The middle of the game was rough with several punts and no rhythm at all. Third down conversions were also a problem in this game. We couldn't keep drives going when it mattered. Now, defense and big play risk here, Dallas was able to get chunk plays through the air and on the ground. The defense struggled to clamp down when the Cowboys got into rhythm, and that hurt us. Now, there was also a late game collapse. When it came down to it, we couldn't get the stop when we needed it. We saw defense make the stops in the Colts game in that fourth quarter and in overtime, and I was wanting to see that. I was needing to see that this game, and we didn't see that at all. Now, injuries caught up with us as well. The offensive line injuries, both tackles got hurt during this game, and that undermines protection and offensive rhythm, and I don't know when we will see them back. Now, depth players had to see extra snaps under fatigue, rotation, and just not being very good at their job. So it wasn't ideal in this high stakes game on a really short week also. Now, with this loss, that means that our Chiefs fall to 6-6. Dallas converted 9 of 16 third downs while we managed to convert only 5 of 13. That's not enough. Prescott avoided pressure all game somehow with no sacks, which allowed him to pick apart our defense. The Chiefs were heavily penalized in this game with 119 yards. That stalls drives and gives opponents extra life. And in one-score games this season, we are now 1-6, which is a huge drop-off from last year when we went 12-0 in one-score games. In the injuries and what they mean for us moving forward here, Josh Simmons reportedly suffered a broken wrist, and Jawan Taylor has a tricep strain, which you're not going to come back very quickly from. This shakes up our protection scheme and our depth as well. On the safety defensive back injuries, too, there were some there that could impact our depth and expose us in future matchups if more weapons attack our secondary. Secondary didn't look very good either. And the combination of the short week, so the fatigue from the short week, the injuries, the penalties, makes the rest of the season look like a grind. So we'll need a healthier rotation somehow and a lot more discipline to survive. We also need to win these next 5 games if we're going to have a shot at anything. What this means for us and how do we finish the season, y'all? So the margin for error is gone. I've talked about this before and how it kept closing and closing week after week, loss after loss, but it's gone. At 6-6, every game from here on out becomes a must-win scenario if we expect to be in the hunt for the playoffs, right? We're way on the outside right now. We're on the other side of the window, down the hall, around the corner. Um, we're way on the other side. Okay, we're just barely peeping in with binoculars and a super long telephoto lens. Discipline has to tighten up. We need fewer penalties, better situational football, clean execution, no more self-inflicted wounds. And we've said this so many times this season, but just something is so off with our team. The offensive line's health and the cohesion has to be addressed. We got to protect Mahomes, or this offense continues to stall. We can't have him getting sacked multiple times per game and risking him tackling other players. Not a good look. Now, we got to generate pressure and force turnovers defensively. Our defense was so flat in this game. There were some players who I felt did a really good job. Nick Bolton, I felt, was a very good player in this game, but overall, it just looked really flat. Chris Jones also had a really good game, but we didn't put any pressure on Dak Prescott whatsoever. So he was able to take all the time in the world and do what he needed to do, and it showed. Now, the mental toughness of our team right now, I'm a little worried. Our team needs to show how they can recover from this gut punching loss, but also the consistency is way overdue. It has to come now or it's not going to come. Now, if the Chiefs can clean up these mistakes, stay healthy, and re embrace that killer championship mentality and the instinct of past seasons, there might be a path. It's a little dusty, a little dirty, yeah, it's a lot of things right now, but it's not pretty. It's not guaranteed, but there's a small one there. So, Chiefs Kingdom, this was a tough loss. It was a painful reality check as well, but we know who we are. And I know that that's been tested many times this season, and there's still a lot of really great pieces to this game. We know to this team. We know what this team's capable of. So, those were some of my reactions just from this game. Mm, yeah, yeah. I want to know your reaction. What frustrated you the most watching this game and going through this loss? What gives you hope that we can still turn this around if there is hope? So I want to hear it. So drop it in the comments below. And of course, as always, hit the like, subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss out on any of these recaps or previews, as grim as they might be on some week to week to week. But yeah, we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep adapting. We're not going to be done until it's done. So don't count us out completely. So I'm going to continue to stay proud and I'm going to say it like I do every single week. Go Chiefs.